now, guys, we're gonna be watching some YouTube. Just gonna be watching some YouTube shorts. Easy.
Rub the mushroom on your feet to collect the spores. Then put on wet socks and wrap a plastic bag around your feet to trap humidity and heat inside. Over the next few days, the dead skin from your feet will start to shed, and the mushroom spores will use this to grow, spreading tiny root-like threads. Every so often, spray more water inside the bag to keep them moist. In theory, small mushrooms would actually start to sprout in just a few weeks, turning your dead skin into fungi. Rub the mushroom on your feet to collect the spores, then put on wet socks.
You know what? This is gonna be about like watching the reacting to Zack Fillms. This is too insane.
When you push a wheelbarrow through grass, the wheel will bounce and nearly tip over. But if you push it down the same path again, the grass will start to bend more. Keep repeating it, and the wheel starts to carve a shallow groove into the dirt. Over time, it fits perfectly in that track. It gets so deep that trying to go anywhere else becomes difficult because the wheel keeps falling back into the rut. Your brain works the same way. The first time you check your phone out of boredom, you have to think about it. But repeat it enough times, and you find yourself reaching for your phone on default all of the time, stuck in the rut that you carved for yourself. When you push a wheelbarrow through grass, the wheel will bounce and nearly tip over. But if you push it down, he dropped the needle onto her eye accidentally. So he took it out and handed her.
Yeah, accident. Perfect. Totally accidental. What's the sound? What? What? Hey! What's the sound? What? Oh.
When you push, he dropped the needle onto her eye accidentally. So he took it out and handed her a wet tissue before continuing to do the root canal. But the bacteria from her mouth started growing inside her eye. And soon enough, she woke up with a severe infection. She rushed to the hospital, and even though the doctors tried everything, her eye eventually had to be cut out. She sued the dentist for not giving her protective glasses, which could have easily prevented the accident that left her permanently half blind. He dropped the needle onto her eye accidentally. If CPR doesn't work, they'll declare you dead. But then the doctor will wait, watching you closely as they time 10 minutes, since you could suddenly gasp for air. Now, nobody knows exactly why this happens, but some say it's because CPR can overfill your lungs, which could put pressure on your heart. And once they stop and declare you dead, that pressure goes down, allowing your heart to suddenly start beating again, bringing you back from the dead and terrifying the doctor. If CPR doesn't work, they'll declare you dead, but then the doctor will wait. He stood neck deep in the ocean, waiting as the cold slowed down his heart. But when authorities arrived, they just stood on the shore and watched. They called the Coast Guard, but the boat never arrived. A woman tried to rescue him, but police told her not to. And even when the man collapsed, they did nothing. Finally, a civilian pulled him to shore, but it was too late. The family sued, arguing that authorities should have saved him. They said it wasn't their responsibility to save the man's life, and a judge agreed, throwing the case out. He stood neck deep in the ocean, waiting as the cold slowed down his heart. But when authorities arrived, they just stood on the shore and watched. They called the Coast Guard, but the boat never arrived. A woman tried to rescue him, but police told her not to. And even when they grew the brain cells on a tiny chip, then the chip connected the cells to a simple version of Pong. When the cells moved the paddle and hit the ball, the system sent back a reward. But when they missed the ball, the system gave them a punishment. Over time, this feedback caused the cells to change how they moved the paddle, and they started hitting the ball more often, proving that brain cells outside of a body can still learn.
Yeah,
They grew the brain. He slipped through the bars of a second-floor
What?
balcony. His body fell through the gap, but his head got stuck, leaving him hanging
Makes
in
sense.
the air.
He has a small brain, but a big head for some reason. He is weird. He's a toddler, probably, or a baby. I don't know. Yeah. And bro's head is bigger than his literal torso. Like what? Oh my god, bro's a big brain or small brain.
People on the street saw him and rushed to stack nearby chairs into a tower. Then one man climbed up and grabbed the boy's legs, holding his weight to keep his neck from being crushed. For several minutes, he held him up until the boy's grandma got inside the apartment and pulled the toddler back up, completely unharmed. He slipped through the bars of a second-floor balcony. His body fell through the gap, but his head got stuck, leaving him hanging in the air. People on the street saw him and rushed to stack nearby chairs into a tower. If you shuck it, the knife can slip off the shell and stab you. Instead, fold up a tea towel and wrap your thumb in it. Then lay it on the table and wedge the oyster under your thumb, with the hinge facing out. Push the knife between the shells and twist it to separate them. Then slide.
Does it look like what I? Why does that look like what I'm thinking? What? Wait, what? Why does that look like? Oh. Ah. Did someone do something to that? Did someone put their lollipop in that? What? That actually seems wrong. That actually seems wrong. I know it's no one put their lollipop in there, but what the hell? What the hell, bro? What the actual hell?
Slide the blade around until.
That's too gross. Oh fuck. Why? Why? Just why, bro? Just why? Just why? Why is this like this, bro? Like, why? Oh my god! There's GOON sauce.
Till the lid comes off. Finally, cut the mussel out of the shell and suck it out. But if a
there was some GOON juice in there.
grain of sand had found its way into your oyster, it could be covered in a protective layer, which could have turned it into a pearl. So you should always check your oysters before swallowing them. If you shuck it, the knife can slip. He fell onto the tracks, and the train rolled over his legs, slicing them off. When he recovered, he struggled to work at his railway job, so he bought a baboon and brought it to work. It copied the man by watching him, and whenever the baboon heard the train whistles, it learned to pull the right levers, switching the tracks. After testing it for its skills, the railway officials hired it full-time, paying it 20 cents and half.
It's what a job does to you. That is what a job does.
Half a beer. And for the next night.
Half a beer? Wait, what are people saying? Years crazy work. Yeah, that's actually crazy. Baboon is a bit of trolley problem solver. Smarter. Daddy, he's smarter than you? I should actually do that. Who cares? Ladies and gentlemen, we are approaching the blah 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 blah. Okay. Okay, this is a bot. This has to be a bot. I knew it! Report! Sexual or harmful or dangerous acts. Sexual. Heh. Perfect! Sexual assist bots.
When the roller coaster drops, your intestines he fell onto the tracks, and the train rolled over his legs, slicing them off. When he recovered, he struggled to work at his officials hired it full time, paying it 20 cents and half a beer. And for the next 9 years, legend says it never made a single mistake. He fell on. When the roller coaster drops, your intestines float up as the rest of you falls down. And as the ride goes on, you feel like your organs are moving out of place until you finally come to a stop. You see, your intestines are pretty loosely held inside your body.
I'm getting confidence right. Well, that's enough to do for today. But guys, this is peace out. Yeah, Excel. I'm gonna make the other video for you. Yeah. Bye guys, peace out.